Ever wonder how to find peace before bed? Let's talk Stoic secrets. Hey there, friend. Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, your mind spinning like a top with memories of the past, worries about the present piling up, or a knot of dread tightening in your chest about what tomorrow might hold? It's exhausting, isn't it? That restless feeling can turn even the coziest bed into a battleground, leaving you tossing and turning as life feels like a relentless whirlwind. Sometimes it seems impossible to carve out a single moment of peace amidst the storm of daily demands, unexpected setbacks, and the endless chatter of our own thoughts. But what if I told you there's an ancient philosophy that could be your lifeline, a way to not just survive those chaotic days, but to thrive through them with a sense of purpose and calm? I'm talking about Stoicism, a timeless wisdom crafted by brilliant minds like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, who turned life's chaos into a roadmap toward virtue, resilience, and genuine happiness. These weren't just philosophers sitting in ivory towers. They were people who faced wars, exile, and personal loss, yet found a way to rise above it all. And the best part? They didn't keep their secrets locked away. They left us practical tools, especially tailored for those quiet hours at the end of the day, to help us reclaim our inner strength. Tonight, I'm excited to walk you through 7 nightly habits inspired by their profound wisdom. Habits that can transform you into someone stronger, calmer, and more focused. These aren't just abstract ideas to ponder over a cup of tea. They are actionable steps you can weave into your routine, little rituals that build a foundation for a better tomorrow, whether you're juggling a demanding job, navigating family challenges, or simply trying to find your footing in a world that never slows down. These habits offer a way to reset, reflect, and recharge. They're not about perfection. They're about progress, about taking small, intentional actions that add up over time to reshape your life. So I'm challenging you to stick with me till the end. Not to give in to the urge to scroll away or let distractions pull you off course, but to be resilient and see this journey through to its conclusion. There's power in committing to the full experience, and I promise it'll be worth it. Oh, and if you find yourself nodding along or feeling inspired by what we uncover together, why not hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell? That way, you won't miss out on more insights, more tools, and more chances to grow alongside this community. We're in this together, and I'm thrilled to have you along for the ride. Ready? Let's get started. Imagine for a moment that these nightly habits are like a toolkit handed down from the Stoics themselves, each one designed to help you face life's uncertainties with a steady heart. They understood that the end of the day isn't just a time to crash and hope for the best. It is a sacred opportunity to pause, to look inward, and to prepare for what's ahead. Seneca, with his sharp mind and reflective nature, saw the night as a mirror to hold up to our actions. Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire while wrestling with his own mortality, found solace in quiet contemplation. Epictetus, once a slave who rose to teach freedom of the mind, emphasized living with intention. Together, their teachings offer a blend of practicality and depth that can guide us through modern life's complexities. These 7 habits aren't a one-size-fits-all solution. They're flexible, adaptable to your unique circumstances, whether you're a busy parent, a student burning the midnight oil, or someone seeking a fresh start. The key is consistency. Small steps taken each night can lead to profound changes, turning restless nights into moments of clarity and strength. As we dive into these habits, think of them as a conversation between you and the wisest parts of yourself, guided by the voices of those ancient thinkers. They're not here to judge or overwhelm. They're here to empower. So settle in, take a deep breath, and let's explore how you can make tonight the beginning of something transformative. Each habit builds on the last, creating a rhythm that can carry you through life's ups and downs with grace. By the end, you might find yourself looking forward to these quiet moments, not as a chore, but as a gift, a chance to connect with your inner resilience and set the stage for a day lived with purpose. So, are you ready to take on this challenge? Let us step into the world of Stoic wisdom and see how it can light up your nights and, in turn, your life. Stick with me and let's uncover these habits together, one step at a time. Look back and learn. Make tonight count. Let us kick things off with a habit that sets the stage for growth. Taking a look back at your day. Every night, Before you drift off into the quiet of sleep, you've got this golden chance to pause and reflect. A moment to step back from the hustle and really think about what unfolded. Consider it. What did you do today? How did you navigate that tricky conversation with your boss, the one where you had to choose your words carefully to avoid a blow-up? Did you take a moment to help someone out, maybe holding the door for a stranger or lending an ear to a friend in need? This isn't about beating yourself up over every little mistake, or getting lost in a spiral of what went wrong. No, this is a different kind of exercise. It's about learning from every experience, big or small, and giving yourself a well-deserved pat on the back for the things you nailed, the moments where you showed up as your best self. Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, was a master of this practice. He'd wait until the house fell silent, the distractions faded, and then he'd sit alone, going over his day with a clear eye, every action, every word, holding nothing back from his own scrutiny. I started doing this myself, and let me tell you, it was eye-opening in ways I didn't expect. At first it felt a bit strange sitting there with my thoughts, but soon it became a ritual I looked forward to. I'd ask myself, what went well today? Maybe it was staying patient when my kids spilled juice all over the kitchen floor, turning a potential meltdown into a laugh as we cleaned it up together. Then I'd follow up with, what could have been better? Perhaps I snapped at a coworker during a stressful meeting when I didn't need to, letting frustration get the better of me. Simple questions like these became my guide, helping me spot my strengths, like that patience with my kid, while owning my slip-ups, like the sharp words I could have held back. It's not about perfection. It's about progress, about figuring out what to tweak tomorrow to align more closely with who you want to be. Seneca used this reflection to measure how well he embodied Stoic ideals like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control, using it as a mirror to refine his character. And you can do the same. It's a tool that's available to all of us, no matter where we are in life. To make this habit stick, grab a journal. Nothing fancy required, just something to jot your thoughts into, whether it as a notebook you've had lying around, or even the Notes app on your phone. Writing it down turns those fleeting thoughts into something concrete, something you can revisit and learn from over time. Seeing your reflections on paper makes them stick in your mind, creating a record of your journey, your wins, your challenges, your growth. It's like planting seeds that grow into a clearer picture of yourself, pushing you to act on what you discover. I found that when I started writing, it wasn't just about the moment. It became a story of my progress, a bridge to a better version of myself, built one night at a time. There's something powerful about seeing your thoughts take shape, about looking back weeks later and noticing how far you've come. It's not just a habit, it's a conversation with yourself, a chance to celebrate what worked and plan for what's next. So, tonight, carve out a few minutes for this. Find a quiet spot, maybe with a cup of tea or just the stillness of your room, and let your mind wander back. What's one thing you're proud of from today? Maybe it was handling a tough situation with grace, or maybe it was something as simple as taking a deep breath when you felt overwhelmed. Write it down, reflect on it, and let it sink in. Then ask yourself what you might do differently tomorrow. How can you build on that pride or learn from a misstep? This isn't about judgment. It's about growth, about using the end of your day to set the tone for a stronger, wiser you. Seneca believed this practice could improve not just his own life, but his impact on the world, and I believe it can do the same for you. Start small, be kind to yourself, and watch how this nightly ritual transforms your perspective, one thoughtful moment at a time. What will you take away from today to carry into tomorrow? Face the end. Find strength in mortality. Now let's dive into something a bit deeper, meditating on your mortality. I know, it sounds heavy, maybe even a little unsettling at first, right? But hear me out. It's not as grim as it seems, and once you lean into it, it can become a surprisingly liberating experience. The Stoics, those fearless thinkers of ancient times, had a way of looking at death that was anything but fearful. They saw it as a natural, inevitable part of life, something to face with dignity and courage rather than dread or avoidance. For them, death wasn't an end to run from, but a reminder to live more fully in the present. They believed that thinking about your own mortality could light a fire under you, A spark that reminds you time's ticking and every moment you've got is precious. It's a wake-up call to stop wasting energy on the trivial and start focusing on what truly matters. One way they brought this idea into their daily lives was through a practice called memento mori, a Latin phrase that translates to, remember you will die. It's a powerful concept, and it's all about imagining that this could be your last night on Earth, letting that reality sink in deep. Let's try this together. Bear with me for a moment and really picture it. Imagine it's your final evening, the last few hours you'll ever have. What would you feel stirring inside you? Maybe a pang of regret would surface, perhaps for not telling someone you love them, those words you've been holding back for too long, or for not chasing that dream you've shelved, the one you've always said you'd get to someday. But maybe there is also a wave of gratitude that washes over you, for a kind word you shared with a stranger that brightened their day, or for a challenge you overcame, proving to yourself just how strong you can be. Now, don't just think about these emotions. Let them hit you fully. Feel them in your chest, like a tightness or a warmth. Feel them in your gut, maybe a flutter of fear or a swell of joy. Let them resonate through your whole being. I tried this myself once when I was caught up in a spiral of stress about work, obsessing over deadlines and emails that seemed so important at the time. I sat down, closed my eyes, and imagined it was my last night, and everything shifted. Suddenly, those late nights at the office didn't seem worth it if I wasn't living for what truly mattered. My family, my passions, the simple joys I'd been putting off. This habit isn't about being morbid or dwelling on the end. It is about waking up your soul, shaking you out of autopilot and into a life that's more intentional. It puts everything into perspective, like zooming out on a map to see the bigger picture. What's really worth your time and energy? What can you let go of? I found that after doing this, I started reaching out more, calling a friend I hadn't spoken to in ages, taking small steps toward a hobby I'd always wanted to try. It pushed me to prioritize the things that align with my deepest values, the ones I'd want to look back on with pride if this were my last day. The Stoics use this practice to live each day as if it were precious, to make every moment count, and it can do the same for you. It's a reminder that life is fragile, yes, but also that it's yours to shape while you're here. So, tonight, as you wind down, carve out a quiet moment for this. Find a comfortable spot, maybe sitting on the edge of your bed or curled up in a chair, and ask yourself, how would I live if this was it? If this were my final evening, what would I wish I'd done differently today? Who would I reach out to? What would I let go of? Let those questions guide you, not with fear but with clarity. Maybe you'll feel a tug to write a message to someone you care about, or to plan a small step toward a goal you've been delaying. This isn't about sadness, it's about purpose, about living in a way that honors the time you have. The Stoics believed this practice could transform how you show up in the world, and I've found it to be true in my own life. It's a gentle nudge to stop waiting and start living right now. So what's one thing you'd do differently if tonight were your last? Let that thought light the way for how you live tomorrow. Dive into Stoic wisdom. Read before you rest. Now let's dive into something a bit deeper, meditating on your mortality. I know, it sounds heavy, maybe even a little unsettling at first, right? But hear me out. It's not as grim as it seems, and once you lean into it, it can become a surprisingly liberating experience. The Stoics, those fearless thinkers of ancient times, had a way of looking at death that was anything but fearful. They saw it as a natural, inevitable part of life, something to face with dignity and courage rather than dread or avoidance. For them, death wasn't an end to run from, but a reminder to live more fully in the present. They believed that thinking about your own mortality could light a fire under you, a spark that reminds you time's ticking and every moment you've got is precious. It's a wake-up call to stop wasting energy on the trivial and start focusing on what truly matters. One way they brought this idea into their daily lives was through a practice called memento mori, a Latin phrase that translates to, remember you will die. It's a powerful concept, and it's all about imagining that this could be your last night on Earth, letting that reality sink in deep. Let's try this together. Bear with me for a moment and really picture it. Imagine it's your final evening, the last few hours you'll ever have. What would you feel stirring inside you? Maybe a pang of regret would surface, Perhaps for not telling someone you love them those words you've been holding back for too long, or for not chasing that dream you've shelved, the one you've always said you'd get to someday. But maybe there is also a wave of gratitude that washes over you, for a kind word you shared with a stranger that brightened their day, or for a challenge you overcame, proving to yourself just how strong you can be. Now, don't just think about these emotions. Let them hit you fully. Feel them in your chest, like a tightness or a warmth. Feel them in your gut, maybe a flutter of fear or a swell of joy. Let them resonate through your whole being. I tried this myself once when I was caught up in a spiral of stress about work, obsessing over deadlines and emails that seemed so important at the time. I sat down, closed my eyes, and imagined it was my last night, and everything shifted. Suddenly, those late nights at the office didn't seem worth it if I wasn't living for what truly mattered. My family, my passions, the simple joys I'd been putting off. This habit isn't about being morbid or dwelling on the end. It is about waking up your soul, shaking you out of autopilot and into a life that's more intentional. It puts everything into perspective, like zooming out on a map to see the bigger picture. What's really worth your time and energy? What can you let go of? I found that after doing this, I started reaching out more, calling a friend I hadn't spoken to in ages, taking small steps toward a hobby I'd always wanted to try. It pushed me to prioritize the things that align with my deepest values, the ones I'd want to look back on with pride if this were my last day. The Stoics use this practice to live each day as if it were precious, to make every moment count, and it can do the same for you. It's a reminder that life is fragile, yes, but also that it's yours to shape while you're here. So, tonight, as you wind down, carve out a quiet moment for this. Find a comfortable spot, maybe sitting on the edge of your bed or curled up in a chair, and ask yourself, how would I live if this was it? If this were my final evening, what would I wish I'd done differently today? Who would I reach out to? What would I let go of? Let those questions guide you, not with fear but with clarity. Maybe you'll feel a tug to write a message to someone you care about, or to plan a small step toward a goal you've been delaying. This isn't about sadness, it's about purpose, about living in a way that honors the time you have. The Stoics believed this practice could transform how you show up in the world, and I've found it to be true in my own life. It's a gentle nudge to stop waiting and start living right now. So what's one thing you'd do differently if tonight were your last? Let that thought light the way for how you live tomorrow. Let go of what you can't control, find inner freedom. Let us talk about detaching from the stuff outside your grasp, a concept that lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy and can truly transform how you experience life. The Stoics, those wise thinkers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, were adamant about this. Your happiness should never hinge on external things like money, fame, or the opinions of others. Why? Because those things are fleeting. They can vanish in an instant like a gust of wind blowing away a house of cards. If your joy is tied to them, you're setting yourself up for a fall, leaving your peace at the mercy of circumstances you can't control. Imagine building your entire sense of worth on a big bank account, only to lose it in a market crash, or craving the approval of others, only to face criticism no matter what you do. The Stoics understood that the only thing you can truly master is your own mind and will, your thoughts, your reactions, your inner resolve. Everything else, from wealth to reputation, is subject to fate, chance, and the unpredictable twists of life. They saw external things as neutral, neither good nor bad in themselves. It's our reaction to them, the meaning we assign, that gives them power over us. This shift in perspective is freeing. It means you hold the key to your own contentment, no matter what the world throws your way. One powerful way to practice this detachment is through a technique the Stoics called negative visualization. Essentially, imagining the worst-case scenario to prepare yourself emotionally and mentally. Picture losing something you deeply value, like your job, a prized possession, or even a relationship, and then ask yourself some honest questions. How would I handle it if this happened? Could I still find joy in my life without this? What might I learn from the experience? This isn't about pessimism or dwelling on negativity. It's about building resilience, about training yourself to face life's uncertainties with a steady heart. I tried this myself when I was caught up in anxiety over a potential promotion at work. I wanted it so badly that the thought of not getting it felt like a personal failure. So I sat down one evening and imagined the worst. I didn't get the promotion, and I had to stay in my current role. Instead of letting panic take over, I thought about how I'd cope, what I'd do next, how I'd grow from the setback, and what other parts of my life still brought me fulfillment. To my surprise, the exercise took the edge off my fear. I realized I'd still have my skills, my relationships, and the chance to try again. More importantly, it made me appreciate what I already had: my health, my loved ones, the simple routines that grounded me. That shift in focus was like lifting a weight off my shoulders. This habit of negative visualization does something profound. It frees you from being enslaved by the world's ups and downs. When you stop clinging to things outside your control, you reclaim the power to define your own happiness. The chaos around you, whether it's a financial hiccup, a critical comment, or an unexpected change, loses its grip on your peace of mind. You become the one in charge, the one who decides what matters and what doesn't. It's the hero's way, as the Stoics might put it. Stoic, strong, and unshakable. I found this practice to be a game changer, especially on nights when worry starts creeping in. It's like putting on a mental suit of armor, reminding me that I can face anything, because my joy doesn't depend on what I might lose. It depends on how I choose to see the world. And that's something I can always control. So tonight, as you wind down, take a moment to try this for yourself. Think of one thing you're holding on to tightly. Maybe it's a material possession, a goal you're desperate to achieve, or even someone's approval. Now imagine it slipping away, not to scare yourself, but to prepare yourself. How would you handle it? Could you still find joy in the other parts of your life, your passions, your relationships, the simple act of being alive? What might you learn about yourself in the process? Maybe you'll discover that you're stronger than you think, or that the things you thought were essential aren't as vital as you believed. This exercise isn't about loss. It's about freedom, about loosening the chains that tie you to what's uncertain and grounding yourself in what's within your reach. So, what's one thing you can let go of tonight? Let that question guide you toward a lighter, more resilient heart, ready to face whatever tomorrow brings. Tune into your purpose. Live with intention. Now let's get to the heart of why you're here. Your purpose, that deep driving force that gives your life meaning and direction. The Stoics, those insightful philosophers of old, held a powerful belief. We're not just random specks drifting aimlessly in the vast universe. Instead, they saw each of us as having a unique role to play, a spark of something divine within us waiting to be fanned into a brilliant flame. They viewed life as part of a grand cosmic order, a tapestry where we're not merely passive observers but active contributors, woven into a big, beautiful web that connects us to others and the world around us. This perspective wasn't abstract for them. It was a call to action, a reminder that our existence matters, and that we have a duty to live in a way that honors that connection. To bring this focus into their daily lives, they practiced something called prosoj, a deliberate act of paying close attention to their thoughts, words, and actions, ensuring they aligned with their higher purpose and the greater good. To start weaving this habit into your own routine, begin with some soul-searching questions that cut through the noise of everyday life. Ask yourself, what's my purpose? What's the best way to chase it, to bring it to life in a way that feels authentic to me? What's the most important thing I need to do right now to move toward that? These questions aren't meant to overwhelm but to guide you, like a compass pointing north when you've lost your way. I found myself in this exact spot once, feeling lost in the monotony of my routine, days blurring into nights with little to show for it beyond checking boxes. So I sat down one evening and asked those questions, letting my mind wander without judgment. It hit me like a quiet revelation. I wanted to help others grow, to be a source of encouragement and wisdom for those around me. That single insight shifted everything. My evenings started to look different. I traded mindless scrolling for meaningful conversations, reaching out to friends or colleagues to share ideas, listen, and uplift. This habit doesn't just sharpen your focus, it aligns your actions with what truly matters, pulling you away from the fluff and toward investments that last, a legacy of impact rather than a trail of wasted time. The beauty of this practice lies in its ability to keep you from drifting through life on autopilot. When you tune into prosage, you become mindful, catching yourself before you slip into distractions or habits that don't serve your purpose. It's like having an inner guide, gently nudging you back to the path when you veer off course. I noticed this shift in myself. Where I once might have spent hours lost in social media, I now prioritize moments that feed my soul, like reading a book that inspires me or planning a small act of kindness. The Stoics believed this attention to purpose was what separated a life well lived from one frittered away, and I've seen how it transforms my days into something more intentional. You're not just filling time, you're building something enduring, relationships, skills, a sense of fulfillment that stays with you. It's a quiet revolution, turning ordinary nights into opportunities to shape who you're becoming. So, tonight, as you wind down, take a moment to step into this practice. Find a quiet corner, maybe your favorite chair or the edge of your bed, and let your mind settle. Ask yourself those questions. What's my purpose? What's one way I can pursue it that feels right for me? What's the most important thing I can do tomorrow to take a step toward it? Don't rush. Let the answers come naturally, even if they're just a faint whisper at first. For me, that realization about helping others grow led me to start small, offering a word of encouragement to a friend or sharing a lesson I'd learned. Maybe for you, it's something different. Pursuing a passion you've set aside, supporting a cause you care about, or simply being more present with your loved ones. Write it down if it helps, turning that thought into a commitment. This isn't about having all the answers right away. It's about starting the journey one step at a time. The Stoics saw purpose as a flame to nurture, and this habit is your way to keep it burning. So, what's one step toward your purpose you can take tomorrow? Let that guide you into a night of clarity and a day of action. Build your strength. Practice self-discipline. What if you could shape your own destiny, tackle any obstacle that comes your way, and reach the goals you've set for yourself, no matter how daunting they seem? That's the incredible promise of self-discipline, a cornerstone of Stoic living that has stood the test of time. The ancient Stoic masters, thinkers like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, understood that the key to a truly good life lies in mastering self-discipline, controlling your impulses and emotions, and consistently choosing what's right over what's easy. It's about prioritizing nobility over quick fixes, seeking lasting value instead of chasing fleeting thrills. This might look like waking up early even when your bed feels too cozy to leave, committing to exercising even when you're tired, or lending a hand to someone in need despite the inconvenience. Self-discipline isn't about perfection. It's about making intentional choices day after day that align with your values and build the life you want to live. The Stoics saw this as the foundation of a virtuous life, a way to cultivate virtues like courage, wisdom, and justice, and to ensure you're not swayed by momentary desires or fears. I decided to put this into practice myself, starting small to make it manageable. I committed to a 10-minute workout each night, nothing too intense, just enough to get my body moving and my mind focused. At first, it was harder than I expected. After a long day, all I wanted was to collapse on the couch and scroll through my phone, but I pushed through the resistance. Those first few nights felt like a slog, but something shifted over time. I started to notice my willpower growing, like a muscle getting stronger with each rep. It wasn't just physical strength I gained. I felt mentally sharper too, more capable of tackling challenges without crumbling under pressure. The Stoics believed in challenging yourself daily, doing something uncomfortable to turn your weaknesses into skills and your fears into courage. That 10-minute workout became my proving ground, a small act of defiance against my own excuses. It showed me that I could choose to act even when I didn't feel like it, and that choice made me feel more in control of my life, more like the author of my own story. This habit of self-discipline does something profound. It transforms you into the master of your own narrative. When you practice it consistently, you're no longer at the mercy of your impulses or the chaos around you. You become someone who can face anything with wisdom and calm, whether it's a tough conversation, a looming deadline, or an unexpected setback. The Stoics knew that life throws curveballs, but they also knew that self-discipline equips you to swing back with confidence. I felt this shift in my own life. Where I used to procrastinate on tough tasks, I now tackle them head-on, knowing I've built the resilience to handle discomfort. It's empowering to realize you can shape your destiny, not by controlling everything around you, but by controlling how you respond. That is the Stoic way, focusing on what's within your power and letting go of the rest, all while building the strength to navigate life's uncertainties. To make this a part of your routine, start small, just like I did. The beauty of self-discipline is that it doesn't require grand gestures. It thrives in the little choices you make each day. The Stoics would encourage you to pick something uncomfortable, something that pushes you just beyond your comfort zone, and do it daily. Maybe it's setting your alarm 10 minutes earlier to start your day with intention, or choosing to walk instead of drive to get a bit more movement in. Perhaps it's committing to a small act of kindness like helping a neighbor with a task even when you're pressed for time. These actions might seem minor, but they add up, building your willpower and turning challenges into opportunities for growth. Make it a part of your night. Before you go to bed, set a tiny goal to tackle tomorrow, something that stretches you just enough to feel the growth. Write it down if it helps, or simply hold it in your mind as a promise to yourself. So tonight, as you wind down, think about what challenge you can take on. What's one small act of self-discipline that could push you forward? Maybe it's skipping that extra episode on Netflix to read a few pages of a book, or taking a moment to plan your day so you wake up with purpose. Whatever it is, let it be your step toward becoming the master of your story, someone who faces life with the calm, steady strength the Stoics admired. This habit isn't just about discipline, it's about freedom, the freedom to shape who you are and how you live, one choice at a time. What's one challenge you can embrace tomorrow? Let that thought guide you into a night of intention and a day of growth. Unwind and recharge. Sleep like a Stoic. We've reached the final habit, and it's a simple one that packs a punch: relaxing and sleeping well. Don't let its simplicity fool you. This isn't just a small detail. It's a game changer that can transform your nights and, in turn, your days. The Stoics, with their practical wisdom, understood that rest isn't a luxury to indulge in when you have the time. It is a necessity, a vital part of living a balanced, virtuous life. They saw sleep as a way to recharge your body and mind, to restore your inner equilibrium, and to wake up ready to conquer whatever challenges the day might bring. For them, rest was like resetting the scales, ensuring you're at your best to face life with clarity and strength. To help ease into this restful state, they practiced a technique called ataraxia, a beautiful Greek word that translates to tranquility, a state of serene calm that helps you let go of the day's chaos. You can do it too, and it's simpler than you might think. Start by taking a few deep breaths, letting each exhale carry away the day's stress like leaves floating down a stream. Then, stretch out any tightness in your body, releasing the tension in your shoulders or neck. And finally, turn your mind to something grounding: your purpose, your values, or the things that matter most to you. I started incorporating this routine into my evenings when I found myself on the brink of burnout from too many late nights. I was staying up far too long, scrolling through my phone or worrying about things I couldn't change, and it was taking a toll. My mornings felt groggy. My focus was scattered, and I was running on empty. So, I decided to try this Stoic approach to winding down. I'd sit on the edge of my bed, close my eyes, and take slow, deliberate breaths, feeling my chest rise and fall as I let the day's stresses melt away. Then I'd stretch, reaching my arms up and rolling my shoulders, releasing the physical tension I'd been carrying. Finally, I'd picture my goals, what I wanted to achieve, the kind of person I wanted to be, letting those thoughts anchor me. The first night I tried it, I was amazed at how quickly I drifted off, and the quality of my sleep was deeper than it had been in weeks. When I woke up, I felt clear-headed, like the fog had lifted, and I was ready to tackle whatever came my way with a renewed sense of purpose. It was a small shift, but it made a world of difference. I felt more confident, more centered, more capable of handling life's demands. This habit of intentional relaxation and rest is the perfect way to close out your Stoic night, setting you up for a morning filled with confidence and clarity. It is not just about getting enough hours of sleep, though that's important. It is about the quality of that rest, the way you prepare your mind and body to truly let go. The Stoics believed that caring for yourself in this way was an act of wisdom, a way to honor your role in the world by ensuring you were at your best to contribute meaningfully. So don't skip this step, even on the busiest of nights. Treat it like a reward you've earned after a day of showing up, of facing challenges, of striving to live well. It's a moment to celebrate yourself, to give your body and mind the care they deserve, so you can rise the next day ready to meet life head-on. So tonight, as you wind down, think about how you can make your sleep a sanctuary, a sacred space where you truly restore. Maybe it starts with turning off your devices a bit earlier, dimming the lights, and creating a calm environment. Whatever helps you feel at peace. Then try the ataraxia practice. Take those deep breaths, feeling the air fill your lungs and the tension leave with each exhale. Stretch your body, noticing where you're holding stress and letting it go, maybe rolling your neck or reaching gently to the sky. Finally, reflect on something meaningful, your purpose, your values, the people you love, or a goal you're working toward. Let those thoughts be the last ones in your mind as you drift off, guiding you into a restful night. For me, this routine turned my restless nights into a source of strength, and I believe it can do the same for you. How can you make your sleep a sanctuary tonight? Let that question lead you into a night of peace and a morning of possibility. Your path to a Stoic life begins tonight. We've covered 7 nightly habits to build a Stoic life, reviewing your day to reflect and learn, facing mortality to find perspective, reading wisdom to inspire your soul, detaching from externals to reclaim your peace, focusing on purpose to guide your actions, practicing discipline to shape your destiny, and resting well to recharge your spirit. These steps aren't just routines to check off a list. They're a profound way to live with virtue and happiness, even when the world feels wild and unpredictable. Each habit builds on the last, creating a rhythm that can carry you through life's storms with a steady heart and a clear mind. They're tools handed down from the Stoics, thinkers like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, who faced their own chaos yet found a path to resilience and joy. This isn't about escaping life's challenges, it's about facing them with strength and grace, turning each night into a foundation for a better tomorrow. So don't just take my word for it. Give these habits a try, weave them into your evenings, and see how they shift your nights, your days, and your whole outlook on what it means to live well. The beauty of this approach lies in its practicality. You can start small, adjusting each habit to fit your life, whether you're juggling a busy schedule, raising a family, or simply seeking a fresh start. Reviewing your day might mean a quick mental rundown before bed, while facing mortality could be a brief moment of gratitude for what you have. Reading Stoic wisdom might start with a single quote, and detaching from externals could involve letting go of one worry that's been weighing you down. Focusing on purpose might inspire a small action, like a kind word to someone, and practicing discipline could be as simple as resisting a late-night snack. Resting well, that final touch, becomes your reward, a chance to sink into tranquility and wake up renewed. Over time, these small acts compound, reshaping how you think, feel, and act. I've seen this in my own life, where these habits turned restless nights into moments of clarity, and I believe they can do the same for you. The shift might be subtle at first, a calmer mind, a stronger resolve, but it grows into a deeper sense of purpose and peace that carries you through even the wildest days. If this resonated with you, if any of these ideas sparked something inside, I'd love for you to show your support. Give it a thumbs up to let me know you're on this journey with me, and if you think a friend could benefit, share it with them. Spread the wisdom that's helped you. And in the comments drop, "I am resilient," to show you made it to the end. This is your badge of honor for sticking with me through all 7 habits. It's a small act, but it's a powerful one, a declaration of the strength you're building. If you're new here, welcome. I'm thrilled you've joined us. I'm thrilled you've hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on more Stoic insights, more tools to navigate life's ups and downs, and more chances to grow together as a community. We're in this together, learning and evolving, and I'm excited to see where this path takes you. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of Stoic living. It means the world to have you here, listening and reflecting. These habits are more than advice. They're an invitation to take your power into your own hands, to change your life starting with the quiet moments before sleep. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, from living in alignment with virtue, and these nightly practices are your stepping stones to that. So, as you close out tonight, carry this with you. Your power to transform begins now, with the choices you make in these small sacred hours. Whether it's reflecting on your day, letting go of what you can't control, or resting with intention, you're building a life of resilience and meaning. Catch you in the next video, where we'll dive deeper into this journey. Until then, be stoic, stay strong, and keep nurturing that inner flame. Your next step is waiting, and I can't wait to see how you take it.